Hello everyone, how's it going? Hope everyone's doing well today. I'm having a nice day so far. It's all been very good. I've got a driving lesson in a minute, so I'm going to go off to that, and then when I get back I'll tell you all about it, and then I'll tell you all about last night as well. So it should be a very talky vlog. I hope you don't mind. Anyway, see you in a minute. So, driving. How did it go? What I'm going to do is I'm going to talk to you as honestly and openly as I can about it, because for some reason it's easier to talk to a camera about it all than it is to talk to a person. Maybe it's because if I change my mind I can just not include the video or something like that. The point is, these vlogs have always, at least to me, kind of been about me cataloguing my life, especially this year. Big year, you know, turning 21, graduating from uni, learning to drive, all that. Those were my three ambitions for this year, and that is why I have done my best to vlog every single day this year, because this is supposed to be a year of growth for me. And it's a bit, what am I trying to say? I kind of want to be able to look back on this year as the year that changed me, I guess. It sounds really cliche, but that's kind of what it is. Same with all the vlogs. I want to be able to look back on them and go, that was a great time, or actually, you know what, I didn't feel so great then. And that's why I try and be at least a little bit honest in these, because then I know that when I watch these down the line I'll remember and I'll go, oh yeah, but look where I've come from there. How does this tie in with driving? Well, okay, here's what we need to know about me. I do not like the learning process. Irrespective of what I happen to be learning, I am someone who, whilst I appreciate the value of learning stuff, I instantly want to be able to do something, and I know that that's not how the world works, but I like to approach something and be able to do it. You know, I don't mind having to learn little skills here and there to get through things, but I like to be able to approach something and be able to do it and to be competent at it. And funny enough, that's a terrible attitude to have when it comes to learning how to drive, because whilst I never went in to driving lessons thinking that I would be able to do it all and that I would know it all after the first lesson, I don't like making mistakes, and I know that that's how you learn. Generally, people say that's the best way to learn, and it kind of is. You know, you learn not to do things by making mistakes, and then you learn how to do them properly as a result. Yeah, I hate that. I do not like making mistakes, and when I do, they trouble me for quite some time. And that's the case with driving. With driving, you make mistakes. You approach a turn in the wrong gear, you stall and everyone behind you gets angry. You know, you make mistakes, that's what happens. And you have to, for something as big as learning to drive. You have to make those mistakes. You're going to make mistakes driving. And that is literally the best way to learn how to drive. If you make mistakes, you know, if you stall your car and everyone gets angry, whatever. Once you've made that mistake, once you've stalled it and then you know how to fix it, you can avoid making those mistakes again. You know how to fix it. If it happens again, fine. You can also identify what caused it to happen, what caused you to stall, and then you know not to do that in the future. So I get the value of making mistakes to learn, but they really bug me when I make them, especially with things like stalling, approaching a turning in the wrong gear. If I make a mistake on rudimentary stuff, drumming, alright? If I'm playing drums, right, and like I drop a stick or I can't maintain time, I get so angry and so annoyed because it's a sort of, come on Nick, you know better than this. You've learned from these. Why are you still doing these? And it really winds me up. And I know that it shouldn't do, because it's a positive process, learning how to drive. You think of what your end goal is. You know, you can drive a car, and then a van, a lorry, a bus, and then you can go anywhere. You know, as soon as I learn how to drive, I can go to Glasgow if I want. And that is more freedom than I have ever had. If I want to go to Glasgow, I've got to get coaches and trains and stuff. But being able to actually do that myself is something really amazing and gives you a really great feeling. But the problem is, if you'll forgive the pun-based analogy, it's the journey. Learning curves trouble me, because when I make the mistake, especially if it's something basic and rudimentary, it really bugs me. And if I can't do something right first time, I get stressed about it, which is again a really kind of almost arrogant view to have, but that's how it is to me. If I can't get it right first time, I don't know what it is, but it doesn't sit right with me. It's silly is what it is. I am being silly. Everyone makes mistakes and everyone learns from them. I make mistakes and I learn from them, but I spend ages afterwards going, why did you do that? You know not to do that. You know that you can do this thing. Why did you suck at it then? It keeps me up sometimes. That's a really heavy thing to just kind of jump cut to, I know. There's also a really daft thing as well. It keeps me awake at night sometimes. It might be the cause of why I'm not sleeping well, but it's not. I know it's not that, because if it was, then it would be forever bugging me when I'm trying to get to bed, and it doesn't so much do that anymore, really. Last week's driving lesson I was really good, if I'm allowed to say so. My instructor was really pleased with me. He said I did some fantastic driving, and I was like, yeah, you know what, that was some of the best that I've done. That was great. I felt good driving, I felt in control, and it was a really, really great feeling. The problem was, I stalled like 10 times in this hour-and-a-half lesson, and afterwards I was kind of like, yeah, you did well, but you stalled. Why were you doing that? You shouldn't do that. You know better than that. And whilst I don't know everything, it's true, I know better than stalling. Yeah, I've made those mistakes and I should learn from them. And this is what it bugs me. It's kind of like, if I'm going to make a mistake and learn from it, I want to learn completely from it the first time round. And I know sometimes you need to make the same mistake several times to fully grasp what's going on. But I don't like doing that. And this is the problem. I hate myself for this aspect of my personality. I just cannot, I don't know what I'm trying to say. But it has kept me up at night when I've made a mistake in the lesson. It's been like, well, why did you make that mistake? And then from there it moves on to, well, imagine if you'd done this, imagine if you'd done that, imagine if there'd been a crash, and all that sort of stuff. My brain hates me sometimes. But it shouldn't keep me awake at night. That's the thing. This is, like I've said, driving is a really positive thing, and driving certainly looks really enjoyable. Whenever Jay's been driving me about, which I'm forever grateful for, by the way, whenever he drives me around and stuff, you know, I look at him, and whilst, you know, he's not sat there the whole time, like, he's having, at least I hope, he's having a nice time. It seems like he enjoys that freedom and that ability to drive around. The ability to say, I want to go and visit Taylor, I'm going to drive to Cardiff. The ability to say, I want to go and visit my old uni friends, I'm going to go up to Bedford. And that seems really cool and really amazing, and he looks like he's having a great time with it, and I can watch him and... Jesus. I kind of hope he doesn't watch this now. But he's the person I look up to. Really. Because I don't even know why. But there's that sort of thing as well. I start putting pressure on myself going, oh, well, Jay wouldn't have done that. And I know that he wouldn't have done that because he's been driving for years and I've been driving for about 6 weeks. You know, not even that if you're going to be pedantic. I've been driving for less than a day if you add up all the hours together. So of course he ain't going to make those mistakes. Stop beating yourself up, Nick. It's a really positive thing being able to drive, and learning about it should be great too. And it is. I am enjoying learning this thing, which sounds really contradictory against what I've just been saying, but I'm enjoying learning about it, and I'm enjoying listening to and learning from my instructor about things to do, things not to do, his anecdotes and stuff that I've seen and things like that. I enjoy all of that, and it is good fun. Ultimately it is. It's just afterwards I can't not focus on negatives. That's the problem. I try and maintain the most positive outlook that I can. I always try to at least be positive. If I'm ever moaning or grumpy or all of that stuff, it's for entertainment. It's funny, and it's because I also get a bit of kind of perverse enjoyment out of having a moan, as I think any healthy person should. But generally, I am a positive person. I like to think I have a half full viewpoint on life, and I remember hearing one say, be the nipple of the battery, be the positive end of the battery. It's a joke, and that's what I try and be. But for someone who tries to be positive, I don't half focus on the negative things an awful lot. And like I say, when I make those mistakes, they really play on my mind. Even though they shouldn't, they do. And it's frustrating. So, future Nick, when you look back on your learning to drive, wondering why you haven't passed, that is why. No, I hope to be passed by the time future Nick is looking back on these. But just so future Nick is aware, and so that, if there's anyone who's similar to me who is learning to drive or whatever, it's not an overnight thing, it's not quick or easy, and it is going to be hard and stressful, but the end of it is really positive, and that's where you've got to work towards, and that's where I'm trying to keep myself focused on, so that I don't get too wound up about it. It is enjoyable, okay? Don't take that away from this. Don't take that it's not enjoyable away from this. It is enjoyable and it is amazing. It's just my own brain doesn't let me comprehend that sometimes. In other news, let's be a bit more happy now, shall we? My job induction yesterday, which is again more learning, but it was different. I enjoyed learning about it all, same as I have with driving. I'm going to stop talking about driving. That subject's done. It was cool. I've got my contract here. I'm not going to show you the details of it because why would I? Got my contract there. I've got some menus here so that I can have a look through and get to grips with what we serve and all that sort of stuff. And it was really good fun. It seems like it's going to be something that I'm really going to enjoy, and I am really looking forward to it. It's going to be great. I do feel genuinely really good about it. The only problems at the moment is I need to learn where everything is, what we have, and also how the tills work. But I've only been there 3 hours. If that, 2 hours. I've only been in there 2 hours learning about all that sort of stuff. So that's going to come. And I'm going to look forward to it. Being thrown in the deep end, First shift is a Friday night. That's going to be good fun. But fortunately, someone who I've met once or twice works there. He's a friend of mine, a friend of Taylor's, and I didn't know that he worked there. And I think he's a supervisor there. And I think the plan was for me to be working with him on the quieter bar, because I have 2 bars, and on the quieter bar, so that I have time to learn where everything is, learn what everything does, how everything works, without it being too pressured, which is going to be pretty great. I am really looking forward to it. It's going to be really good fun. I'm hoping. I expect that there'll be drunken people who will give me problems, because that's the way it always is. But I am looking forward to it. It's something that I've always wanted to kind of have a go at. When I was younger, I was on holiday in Turkey with my family, and I remember sitting by the pool. I looked over at the bar, and the barman was like making his cocktails, and he was pulling bottles off the shelf behind him and throwing them about, and he was throwing bottles everywhere, catching them, pouring them in there, and doing all this stuff. That is really cool. I want to be able to do that. And that must have been where it started. Because then, whenever we went on family holidays, whenever it was like me, my mum, my dad and my sister, and then we went away with grandparents and cousins and all that sort of, all the extended family, me and my younger cousins would set up a bar, like at a window. All the adults would be out in the front garden having like a chat or whatever. They'd just be having a nice time. And me and my cousin, we'd sit at this window, and they'd come up and they would say, "Oh, can of Foster's." We'd go off and can of Foster's, and we'd charge them like their loose coppers and stuff, you know. And I love doing it, that's probably why I'm looking forward to doing this job so much. It's going to be really cool, and I can't wait. It's going to be great. Also, as well, Comtis starts up again on Saturday, I think. So we'll be back to working, which is going to be great. It'll be good. It'll be good to get out of the house for a little while and do some stuff. As much fun as I have sitting here making videos and things like that, it'll be good to just get out for a little while. And I'll be getting out into 2 environments that I really enjoy being in and working in. Hopefully, fingers crossed. On Facebook, you can set where you work, as I'm sure you know. And I didn't put up that I found out I got the job last week. I think. Can't remember what day last week. But I found out that I got the job last week. And I didn't post on Facebook that I've gotten the job until yesterday, because I was a bit sceptical. As I'm sure I've talked about many a time, I haven't had the best luck with getting jobs and job interviews and stuff like that. Even with getting acknowledgement emails, actually. And that's probably what fueled my skepticism. I almost didn't want to believe I'd gotten the job until I was there doing the job, which happened to be last night. I went along for my training, and having been shown how to pull a pint and all that sort of stuff, like 1 or 2 people came up and the person who was leading me around kind of gestured at me and went, "He'll deal with you." And I went, "Yes, I will." Pull it and tilt the glass, like pretty much. I'll get a glass. So here we go, glass of London Pride. Other beers are available, ales, sorry. So if you're pulling it, you sort of tilt the glass like that, and then it fills it up, and that gives you less head on top. And you slowly do that. Make sure the tap doesn't go in. There you go, lovely pint of London Pride that I've just thrown everywhere. So there's stuff like that. If you're doing it with Guinness, it's an Irish pub. Get me doing it with Guinness a lot. You get the harp that's on a Guinness glass. We haven't got any, but there's a harp that's printed on the Guinness glass, and that's where you try and get it in. So it's tilting like that, and slowly up until it just covers the Guinness branding that will be on the glass. Then you need to draw a shamrock in it. I don't know how to do that. I have a vague idea of how to do that, because I was told it had something to do with drawing a figure of 8. So let me find a pen and I'll have a guess at what we're supposed to do. So when it comes to drawing a shamrock, something that the manager said was just do a figure of 8 with a little bit on the top, which I don't really fully understand, but I think it's got something to do like this. You probably can't even tell from this distance, but it's probably going to be something like, if you I hope you can see, otherwise this whole thing's rubbish, but you kind of go around like that. Something like that. Obviously that's not really in proportion. It's a bit terrible. But basically you have to draw one of those onto the top of a pint of Guinness, which I don't really know how to do properly yet. But that'll all come in time, and it's gonna be great. It's gonna be great. So there we go. Negative thing and a positive thing. No, they're both positive things, but one of them's just got a negative overshadow because of my brain. It's really weird because they're both going to be focused on learning and all that, but I'm less afraid of making a mistake in O'Neill's than I am driving. Maybe that's because if you make a mistake driving, it's a lot harder to fix or to correct. You know, if you crash into a lamppost, that's a lot harder to fully resolve than it is, you know, a spilled pint. It's different ball games, but the same ball. I've had enough of talking now. I've done enough talking. Talking's boring. Forget talking. We don't need to talk anymore. I think we've had enough. Now I just need to think of a cool transition from this into the next piece. Got it. That was rubbish. Ah, there we go. I have an idea. If I reach over with this hand and reach over with this hand and pull.
That's done. I have another plan for today. Sorting out the rubbish that the foxes have helped themselves to. Yeah, they've done a right number here. Damn cretins. A lot of them.
You'll be pleased to know that I think, at least, that I found that talk kind of helpful. It was good to just kind of just talk about it. I don't really do all that. I don't really do opening up all that well. So it's good to be able to do it for a camera. Mainly because if I later decide I don't want to do anything, then I just delete that footage. You'll never see it again. Talking of never seeing things again, Facebook? Hello! What's this? What in the hell is this? Jesus! Is that? Oh yeah, no, that's what. Code. It's not. May as well be. Christ almighty. Well, I need to fix this. Hopefully a simple refresh does the job. Hey, there we go. But yeah, no, that was really helpful. That was good. I might do that more often if things get on top of me. So here I am, sitting all nicely, ready to wrap up the video, and all of a sudden I get tagged. What does that mean? Well, on YouTube, that means that you, or me, has been specially selected to answer 5 questions that have been going around. It was started up, I believe, by Alex Day on YouTube. I'm sure he used to go under the name Neramon, but I think he changed it when YouTube said, you can change your name now. I think he started it up, and basically the idea is you answer these 5 questions and then choose some people who you would like to see answer those questions. So what I need to do is I need to set up my tripod again so that I can answer these. My tripod being the wooden tables that I use often. I need a proper one these days. First of all, before we go any further, yes, spot the continuity error, t-shirt change, yeah. Question 1 is, what are you most afraid of, or what is your biggest fear? That sort of thing. My biggest fear, on a superficial level, I guess, is beetles, which is really small and insignificant, but it kind of is. And the way I would quantify that, I suppose, is if I was walking down the road and I see a spider kind of scuttle along the pavement, I'd just carry on. Spiders are a bit iffy on, but I wouldn't go out of my way to get out of my way of going around a spider. I'd just carry on. If I see a beetle on the road, I would go out of my way to get around the beetle being there. I don't want anything to do with beetles. I don't want to go anywhere near beetles at all, really. And if I can identify where that started, I believe it was from a scene in The Mummy. I think it was The Mummy. Where I think like some guy's been kind of buried alive with scarab beetles or something like that. However, if you're looking for a more deep and meaningful what am I afraid of, I don't know. I think it's all well and good kind of saying, oh, I can't think of anything now. Like, I am afraid of never finding the one, or I am afraid of never amounting to anything and all that sort of stuff. Those are the deeper fears, but those are the fears that I don't really think I have. They're not so much fears, they're concerns, if you want to go to that level. I think you should, well, not you should, but in my opinion, it's only worth being afraid of things that are real and can actually hurt you. Or fair enough, you get a beetle that big, it's not going to hurt you, but you know, it's there and it's something physical to be afraid of. And in my opinion, there's no real sense in being afraid of something that you can't control, or it's just something that's an external force that will act upon you. Whilst if you are afraid of never finding the one or whatever, then that's fine. But I try not to hold those sorts of fears, because to me it seems a bit odd. Not odd, just seems a bit, it seems like extra brain effort on my part to have those sorts of fears. I don't know whether I'm just digging a deeper hole for myself or whether I'm actually elaborating effectively on my point. So the second question is, how did you find out Santa wasn't real? And what? What do you mean? No, I genuinely cannot remember how I found out that Santa wasn't real. What's the best idea you've ever had? It's very subjective and depends entirely on what we're looking at here. You know, what's the best idea you've ever had? Well, I don't know, the other day I came up with a pretty decent chicken farm design on Minecraft. That was a pretty good idea. I honestly don't know what the best idea I've ever had is. Because to me, every idea seems like a great idea. You know, if I have an idea, it's like, oh, that's a brilliant idea, yeah! At no point do I kind of censor myself in that sort of, that's a rubbish idea. So I don't know if I'm fully qualified to answer that. I don't know what the best idea I've ever had is. I guess the thing that's kind of furthered me the most. The best idea I've ever had might have been, let's go to uni, or the best idea I've ever had might be, okay, I didn't get the first Coca-Cola audition, let's try for the second one. That sort of thing, I guess. I guess every idea is a good idea as long as you get something out of it. And I'm finding it really hard to kind of quantify what my best idea is. There's no kind of ranking system that I can piece together to work out how one idea stacks up against the other. I think it just depends entirely what I got out of them. And I guess that would be the stuff like choosing to go to uni, or choosing to go for the work with Coca-Cola at the Olympics. Going to Minecon, that was a pretty great idea. That turned out to be a really great weekend. All that sort of stuff, I guess. That would be my best ideas things. What is the most embarrassing thing your parents have ever done? Asks question 4. Well, question 4, I don't know. Again, I'm really quite rubbish at this. The thing being, they don't really do embarrassing things for me anymore. Either because I'm now 21 and it's kind of like I'm an adult now and they've stopped, or because I'm generally quite hard to embarrass anyway, I think. I was a drama student, very into kind of performing and all that. I'm totally okay with like revealing myself onto the internet. So I feel like I'm kind of quite thick-skinned in that sort of sense and quite hard to embarrass, because otherwise I wouldn't do those things. So my parents have a pretty tough time doing it now, and if they did it way back when I was younger, I'd probably cast it out of my mind because it was too painful to remember. So I honestly have no idea what the most embarrassing thing my parents have ever done. Should probably ask them, they'd be able to tell you. Generally, when it comes to embarrassing myself, I'm more than capable of doing that on my own. I generally don't need external help. And the fifth question is, if you could only do one career for the rest of your life, which would you choose? This is possibly the hardest question anyone could ever ask me. Anything to do with my future career is a real problem because I haven't got a Scooby-Doo. I have no idea what I want to do professionally, and I never really have done. I've had things that I wanted to do, but they change after like a year or so. When I was younger, I wanted to be a lawyer. Then I wanted to teach science, and I wanted to teach English, then I wanted to teach drama, then I wanted to work in a bar, and then I wanted to be an actor, then I wanted to do sound and lighting, then I wanted to do YouTube, then I wanted to do something else. I genuinely have absolutely no idea what I want to do with my life. No, I kid. I mean, I don't know what I want to do. Essentially, I have no real plan for what I want to do for a career, and it's a little bit troublesome, but I also expect that of me now because that's been the way that I've lived for so long now. There was this thing I heard about called the 7-year itch, which generally only really applies for relationships, and it talks about how, generally speaking, every 7 years something within you, me, everyone changes just a little bit that affects, you know, your outlook on life or what you find attractive, what your interests are, all that sort of thing. And that changes every 7 years, so the theory goes. And that's why relationships tend to go stale around that time and all that sort of thing, because the people who meet find that they suddenly have different interests. I am generally quite like that with careers, except my itch seems to come every year. I change my mind on what I want to do and what I want to be far too often to be efficient, which is a bit of a problem. And I know it is, and you know, it does bug me every now and then, but there's not a lot that I can do about it. All I can do is just basically try my hand at all sorts of different things to see what I enjoy doing and what I could potentially foresee myself doing as a career, or at least so that I have a vague direction to aim for, which is why I did drama at university, because when it came to choosing GCSEs, I chose to do drama because I had enjoyed doing it through years 7 to 9. Then it came to A-levels, and they were a bit more important for your career. So I wasn't really sure what I wanted to do with my life at that point. So one of the A-levels I chose was drama because I enjoyed doing it. Then it came to the end of A-levels, and it was on to studying a degree, and I still didn't know what I wanted to do with my life. So I went, okay, I'll go and study drama at university. So at least that way I can get a degree, and I can get a degree in something that I enjoy doing, and I can enjoy going to get that degree. Then when I come out the other end, I'll know what I want to do with my life. Come out the other end, I don't know what I want to do with my life. At least I've got all that sort of experience on doing something that I enjoy, and I've been able to try my hand at loads of different subject areas within that and work out what I like to do and what I don't like to do. So it has its benefits. I think even though it is a problem not knowing what you want to do, at least in my opinion it kind of opens you up to more experiences and things like that. So I'm trying to take the positives away from it. But in answer to the question, what would I want to do with my life if I could only do one thing? I don't know, is the short answer. The long answer you have just heard. So there we go, that's my YouTube survey 2013, which I did because I was tagged. I should mention I was tagged by Dappled Doe, who is Beth, who is Liam's girlfriend, who you've met a few times, and there will be a link somewhere for something. Definitely be one in the below box, but try and remember to put one somewhere else. must remember. Now comes the bit where I can tag a couple of people to do it as well. And what I'm going to do, because I don't know, I'm just going to say, if you want to do it, and then send me in a video response, and I'll approve it and put it on the video as a video response, and then I'll watch it and all that sort of stuff. Purely because, like, if I say, right, I want these 2 people to do it, then everyone else might sit there and go, oh, well, I wanted to do it. You can do it. Anyone can do it. I hereby nominate the entirety of my 930 odd subscriber base. All of you can do it. When you're being cute. I don't use that slogan anymore. It's fine. Other DIY shops are available here, here, and here. Thank you all for watching today's vlog, everyone. I hope you have enjoyed it. I know it's been a bit of a talky. It's been very, very talky today, and I had no intention of it being that kind of talky. It all started basically when I came back from a driving lesson. I thought, you know, this is kind of bugging me. You know, at least if I talk about it as openly as I can, then that'll help vent some stuff, and that'll be cool. And then I had to tell you about how my induction went last night. So then I started getting onto that, and you know, I had loads to say about that, loads more than I thought I had to say about that. And then, of course, I got tagged on the YouTube survey, and again, funnily enough, those were some really thought-provoking questions. I thought they'd be done and done in like a minute on each question. It turns out I have a lot to say about things. But yeah, like I said earlier, I am bored of talking now. I've done a lot of talking today, considering I've been on my own. How sad! I mean, this is either driving me more insane or keeping me from going insane. Because people talk to themselves when, like, to stop themselves going mad, and I do that a hell of a lot. I talk to a camera, which is really weird in and of itself, and I talk, you know, to my mic to make videos and stuff. And while I'm just milling around the house, I narrate what I'm doing. If I'm making a cup of tea, I narrate it to myself. Whether that is to stop me going mad or because I've gone completely mental, I don't know. But what was the point of me talking about that? I don't know anymore. I don't know. I don't know. I'll see you tomorrow. I've got a ton of footage to look through today, and I'm fairly certain that when I finish this clip, there will be an outtakes reel because of all the talking I've had to do and how much I'll have probably had to cut out. So I'll see you tomorrow for another vlog. Until then, bye bye. I wasn't sure whether I'll start that sentence again. Got it. That was rubbish. Ah, there we go. So the second and the 5th question is, I got that wrong because I was focusing too much on trying to get that right without swearing and doing that. And the 5th question is, if you could, I don't know what the 5th question is. I have an idea. If I reach over with this hand and reach over with this hand and pull